Raleigh City Council. Case for C-113. How many years? Sorry, lost track. We probably do not need a staff presentation. I don't think we had anything prepared from staff. Everybody is pretty well familiar with the case. I'm going to open the public hearing and ask the applicant to speak first.
Good evening, Matt Hall here from Morgan Property Group. As you know, we filed a notice to the city to withdraw the case. Due to the publication of the public hearing this evening, we can't formally withdraw unilaterally at this point, so we understand you have to have the hearing, but based on my client's intent to withdraw, we have no presentation to make. Ask you to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The ordinance for the city says that for public hearings or rezoning cases, we allow 8 minutes per side. I had been asked by some neighborhood groups to extend that to 12 minutes, so I will allow 12 minutes per side. So I'll ask first, is there anyone here that wishes to speak in support of this rezoning case? Okay. If seeing none, then I'll ask if there's anyone here that wishes to speak in opposition to this case.
My name is David Cox, and I live at 1902 Stony Trace Court. Mayor McFarland and councilors, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about this rezoning. I will discuss 3 topics. First, I'd like to talk a little bit about the history of Dunn and Falls of Neuse. Second, the vision and expectations for the Falls of Neuse corridor. And lastly, I will convey our position regarding this rezoning. The first time a shopping center was considered for Dunn and Falls of Neuse was in 1994. In April 1994, homeowners and developers together spoke at a comprehensive planning committee meeting against the proposed shopping center, including Mr. Bill Mullins, who is one of the applicants for today's rezoning request. The minutes from that meeting show that Mr. Mullins was developing the Wood Spring subdivision at that time and had concerns about the shopping center. Mr. Steve Kenny, son-in-law of Bill Mullins' partner, Dan Austin, was also developing River Oaks at that time. The minutes show that Mr. Kenny also shared Mr. Mullins' concern about the shopping center. Then, as now, Wood Spring would be adjacent to the proposed shopping center, and the minutes show that Mr. Mullins would, quote, would ask the Comprehensive Planning Committee to deny the project. Ultimately, there were 2 outcomes in 1994. Mr. Mullins' property on Dunn Road was rezoned to buffer commercial that allows offices and small retail development to 3,000 square feet per building and prohibits fuel sales, drive-ins, and drive-thrus. Concurrently, a plan was developed for the adjacent parcel to become a small village office park rather than retail. Thus, by 1995, clear expectations had been established for the development of Dunn and Falls of Neuse Road that did not include a shopping center. Fast forward to 2008. By 2008, virtually all of Wood Spring had been developed and sold. Whatever concerns Mr. Mullins had about retail next to his development were now absent. As a result, Mr. Mullins filed to rezone his approximately 4 acres, remaining 4 acres, to allow construction of 20,000 square feet of retail. Area homeowners expressed their concerns to City Council and opposed the rezoning. Retail was not what Mr. Mullins had agreed to in 1994. The case eventually went to the Comprehensive Planning Committee that recommended denial for the following reasons. The retail was too large and out of scale with the neighborhoods. The retail would generate objectionable traffic, lighting, noise, hours of operation, odors, litter, and garbage. The proposed retail failed to eliminate the opposition of the neighbors. In short, 20,000 square feet of retail did not fit with the surrounding neighborhoods. It was then and is today an inappropriate location for retail, and City Council denied that request. So let's talk about today. Since 2008, the Richland Creek watershed has been established to protect the Neuse River's water supply. The Annie Wilkerson Nature Preserve next to Falls Lake Park was created virtually across the street. The North Carolina Mountain to Sea Trail connects Annie Wilkerson to the brand new Neuse River Greenway. And at Falls Dam, Raleigh's largest park, the 586-acre Forest Ridge Park, is currently being developed to become one of Raleigh's premier destinations. This brings us to our second topic, vision and expectations. With all of this residential and parkland, this site is the wrong place to maximize growth and development. This site is the wrong place for a strip mall or shopping center. We are not alone in this thinking. The comprehensive plan protects the Falls and Neuse corridor north of Durant Road in a special area plan where we find that the proposal violates 9 policies and actions, and we will provide documentation on that. Even the staff report for this rezoning case states, in recent years, significant public investment has occurred in this area, capitalizing on the area's unique natural environment. New parkland and outdoor recreation resources have been established, with yet more to follow, as Forest Ridge and a whitewater rafting park. Such efforts reflect and manifest the aims of the Falls and Neuse area plan. We couldn't agree more. A 58,000 square foot strip mall drawing up to 7,000 vehicles a day does not belong in this place. Finally, I would like to convey our position regarding the Falls and Neuse corridor and this rezoning request. A year ago, 522 of us attended the CAC meeting to vote in favor of current rezoning and against the proposed rezoning. To that end, many of us have signed a position that I would like to now present. We petition the city not to rezone or remap these properties and to allow development under the current zoning. The petition contains 3,733 signatures. Will those of you in the audience who agree with this petition please stand? Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, Councilman, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you and share. I'm Bob Fry, I reside at 1409 Coolmore Drive in River Oaks 2, and was the first owner to occupy a home in this phase in 1994. I moved my family to Raleigh to leave the congestion of Los Angeles and wanted to raise our children in a safe and uncongested community. I have 30 years of real estate experience. I've owned my own real estate company in Los Angeles and Raleigh, and have developed land for offices and residential use since moving here since 1996. We contracted with Mr. Frank Price, Senior Traffic Engineer of Weather Rail Engineering, and Mr. Gary Faulkner, formerly with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Together they have over 80 years of professional experience in the review for us the TIA provided by the applicant's engineer. The TIA clearly shows that the proposed shopping plaza will dramatically change the character of our neighborhoods by generating up to 5,900 additional trips each weekday, 7,200 additional trips each Saturday, and 5,800 additional trips each Sunday. The TIA assumes a maximum allowance of 25% for internal capture. Even with this maximum rate of internal capture, the shopping plaza will add twice the number of trips than possible in the current zoning for weekdays, 12 times the number of trips on Saturday, and 21 times the number of trips on Sundays. This is totally unacceptable. We know for certain regarding access to the site is that there will be access on Dunn Road, where the increase in traffic will degrade our morning commute to a level F, service F. Mr. Price and Mr. Faulkner concur with city engineers that access in Falls and Neuse would violate standards and should not be allowed. Access on Winnington is at best uncertain. Regardless of the exact access, placing thousands of additional trips on the neighborhood streets 7 days a week and transferring them into shopping plaza entrances is completely unacceptable. I've heard from some who have said, growth is coming, we can't stop it. or they've said the previous efforts in this site plan span over 20 years and aren't relevant today. However, good planning doesn't grow old. The area is not a growth area or designated as a mixed-use community center on Raleigh's growth framework map. Dunn Road is one of 2 neighborhood mixed-use areas on the future land use map, with the other located in Bedford. The shops of Bedford, with small retail, a daycare center, and clock tower, is the classic town center serving the immediate neighborhood and is the embodiment of neighborhood mixed use. Previous planners and city leaders understood this site should be developed in character with our homes. The comprehensive plan sets policies that development should complement the character of the area. This proposed shopping plaza stands in stark contrast to the character of our neighborhoods. In other words, this shopping plaza is not good planning. Zoning exists to protect adjacent property owners. Rezoning should not harm adjacent owners. Yet I have been told by 3 different MAI appraisers that we could expect our home values to possibly drop 10% with this type of large retail that's built next to us. Families with children will not move to a community with traffic congestion and unsafe streets. We want this site developed under the existing zoning for uses that enhance our community and create a good neighbor for all. The proposed zoning turns away sound planning and will harm our neighborhoods. Given the current petition from the developer to retract the rezoning petition, the door is now open for landowners like us to meet with the homeowners like us to meet with the landowners and to discuss the most viable use for this site. Please continue to use wise and sound planning decisions to keep our community safe and limit the amount of traffic and safety issues this rezoning will bring. Vote no on this rezoning. I'd like to turn over the podium to my friend and neighbor, Michael O'Sullivan.
Good evening. My name is Michael O'Sullivan, 1704 Westcott Drive. I'm the president of the Wood Spring Homeowners Association Board, which is unanimously opposed to Z114, as is the overwhelming majority of our residents. Wood Spring has 296 homes and families, and our community is located between the Falls River and Bedford subdivisions. Smaller neighborhoods like Autumn Hill, Kings Crest, Ravens Ridge, and River Oaks, Eastern Falls are also in the area bordered by Dunn Road and Raven Ridge. You've heard from us in recent meetings and through emails that our neighborhoods already face cut-through traffic, and the traffic study indicates it will get far worse if rezoning is approved. We are very concerned that this will endanger residents and the hundreds of children who live in Wood Spring and surrounding neighborhoods, including my 7-year-old granddaughter who is in the audience tonight. Most importantly, from the Wood Spring perspective, there has been discussion of access points to this proposed shopping center, including possible site access via Whittington Drive. One of the parcels of land for this rezoning is residential property that extends from the Falls and Neuse and Whittington Drive intersection east down Whittington. You should know that this strip of land is part of a lot that is subject to restrictive covenants for Wood Spring. The presence of an access point across that strip of land would violate the restrictive covenants for Wood Spring. The covenants specifically state that lots should be used for residential purposes only and that no business activities of any kind shall be conducted on the property. In short, the access is not permitted under the Wood Spring restrictive covenants, and the association will enforce the covenants that protect Wood Spring residents. You've heard from our entire community for more than a year. We've been clear from the outset. We support appropriate developments under current zoning. We call on you to do the right thing. Protect neighborhoods as the city commits. We want to work with the landowners, city staff, and all appropriate stakeholders to identify appropriate development opportunities that respects Raleigh's promises to neighborhoods. Let's reach a positive outcome here that starts with your vote tonight to deny this rezoning. We need and expect your support tonight and in the future. Thank you.
My name is Vicki Crenshaw, and I live at 1604 Elegance Drive, and I'm speaking as a Bedford homeowner and not on behalf of the Bedford HOA Board. Mayor McFarland and councilors, my husband and I, along with a large contingent of families here this evening, are impacted by this proposed rezoning far more seriously than other homeowners in the Bedford community because of our close proximity to the site. We have no way to leave or return to our homes except via Dunn Road. Even today, it can take minutes to exit Elegance Drive onto Dunn Road. Adding 7,000 vehicles a day to our neighborhood streets will make an already challenging situation that much worse for the whole community, and particularly dangerous for those of us whose residential streets border Dunn Road. But I'm just not concerned about us. I can only speak for my immediate area of Bedford, but I'm concerned for every homeowner in every community represented here this evening. Z114 threatens our quality of life, the investment in our homes, and our safety. That's not what several thousand citizens expected when they invested in these communities. As frustrating as this case has been for so long now, you, councilors, and Mayor McFarland have worked patiently with the citizens. And I thank you for listening to us for 18 months. But let's remember that what you've heard citizens say repeatedly through the petition that you were just given this evening, our CAC vote, and then here tonight is we support development under the current zoning. Development that includes small retail, shops, restaurants, and light office. Development that neighborhoods can embrace because it serves, not harms, the surrounding neighborhoods. The kind of development that can be a winning combination for both neighborhoods and developers. We also believe during these 18 months that you've worked patiently with the applicant. You've asked for a neighborhood appropriate development, and you've seen several plans presented to you. But what you have before you still in Z114 is not neighborhood appropriate development. A destination shopping center like this is out of scale, it's harmful, and it's inappropriate for a neighborhood. Unfortunately, despite your best and your honest efforts, this case has turned into the most contested battle between a single developer and citizens that Raleigh has ever witnessed. This plan is for a destination shopping center. Tonight, I stand here with my neighbors, and all we're trying to do is protect our communities. Please stand with us and say no to rezoning this property. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your well-organized presentation. I know you all worked very hard on that. With that, I will close the hearing and bring the discussion back to the table.
Madam Mayor, if it's appropriate, I'd like to kind of make a motion. Okay. I move that we find that this project Z114 is not reasonable and in the public interest for a number of reasons. One, it's incompatible with the comprehensive plan, a number of policies, but principally the future land use maps neighborhood mixed-use designation, which calls for a much smaller scale development. As you heard, it's incompatible with the capacity of the street system in the area. It's also incompatible, as you've heard, with our long-range plans for the land that's in the urban watershed protection overlay district, which this project is to be used in the future as one of our drinking water supplies. And so for those reasons, I would make a motion that we deny this case.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion denied. The motion is approved. The case is denied. Aye.